Hi, welcome back. So last video, we went over managing local storage and virtual hard drives, well, hard disk rather. So what we're going to be doing now is implementing a network policy server. We're going to do that in a few exercises here. So the first exercise for implementing that, we have to actually install the NPS, right? So it just provides a centralized infrastructure for authentication of dial-in users and authorization for remote access. For access to network services, for counting the number of minutes and things of that nature for they're spending in a remote session, right? So let's get started on actually installing. Make sure I'm on the correct server. All right, SAO1. So perfect. So let's start with the PowerShell. Start with the PowerShell here. Let's see. Policy and all right, perfect. So I was just collecting the data. So it was just a command to begin installing the network policy server. Shouldn't take too long to do that, and I should get some sort of system notification for when it's successfully done, as far as the percentage here when it's fully at 100%. Right? It's like it's going by pretty fast, which is good. Sometimes it could take a while. Right, perfect. So now this allows me to begin configuring the NPS, right? So I'm going to enable the Radius client, and the Radius client just refers to network access servers like VPNs, right, and dial-up servers, as I mentioned before. So these two servers, the Radius protocol is going to communicate with the NPS, right? So I'm just going to head back to, actually going to close this out. I'm going to head back to, let's see, network policy server here. Yeah, just wait for it to populate. There it is. Okay. All right, perfect. Let's expand this here. Let's see what we got here. Radius. It's new. Then we want the name to be, let's see, 01. Even though I am in SAO1, that's the name I want it to be under. Let's see, 68. All right, then we're going to verify. All right, perfect, and then resolve. We're going to hit OK. All right, perfect. Then we got that here. Then for the secret. All right, perfect. And we actually need to go to this tab, access a few things. I'll get out the way. All right, let's leave this out. Then actually I'm going to leave this open too. All right, so now this allows me to configure the network policy server logs. So just going to configure some properties of the NPS, right, accounting logs for this particular server. So let's see, let me actually open this back up. All right, let's go here, and then let's check the log files. All right, perfect. All right, so let's go to log file. We actually want to change this to IAS, then daily. I think everything else looks okay. Actually, let's minimize this. All right, perfect. So now that we've configured those properties, now we can prepare the VPN interface, right? So we understand that the servers normally they have a secondary network interface to receive incoming connections from VPN clients, right? So the interface communicates with the internet or public networks, and a secondary network interface is usually configured by specifying a static IP address, right, and a preferred DNS server. So now I'm just going to configure the secondary network for the DCL1 server. So let's see. Now, there may be some compatibility issues in this particular lab. Unfortunately, with the Hyper-V and the remote and access service, the RS. And so I won't be installing the VPN services due to that on this one or the DCO one, because these two servers are running on the virtualization platform. But I'm still going to configure the secondary network interface for the VPN using the Windows PowerShell in just a moment. So actually, let me swivel over to DCO1, and then should be fairly quick for the, let's see here. All right, just PowerShell here. All right, but for purposes of speeding up this video, just going to speed it up just so the video isn't as long while I enter in the command to begin to prepare the interface. All right, perfect. So as you can see, I've entered in the command, and that's just to get a static IP address on Ethernet on the Ethernet 2 interface. All right, so now I'm just going to I did receive a confirmation, right? But the command was completed successfully, and I can assume that because I did receive an error message. So, and this is the system behavior by design, typically. So now I'm just going to configure the Ethernet 2 to another IP, preferred DNS server, and this command isn't particularly long, so I'm actually just going to take the lazy way out here and just do it this way. I'm not going to stop the cam for this. So up here, I believe that should be it. The parameter. All right, let's take a look, see what's going on. I see. Okay. Yeah, it's usually the user, not the computer, whenever there's an error, right? Now, as before, I won't get a confirmation right after success after setting up Ethernet 2 to use the preferred DNS server. But all right, perfect. So yeah, all right, but it did go through. All right, perfect. So I'm actually going to leave this up so we can actually get to installing the remote access service. So let's make sure. Okay, perfect. So I'm actually on. Let's see. Actually on here. Yeah, this command isn't that long either. Actually, most of the commands today, it's going to be some that are pretty long, but most of them may not be because I believe I can type pretty fast. Let's see. And then we want to include management tools. All right, perfect. So the install is in progress. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Again, this is for the remote routing and remote access, some other features as well, but that's the main point behind it. Then I'll be able to move on to the next task. All right, and again, for the purposes of this video not being too long, I'll speed it up to when this is fully at 100%. All right, perfect. So gotten confirmation that the successful install of the VPN routing feature, right? So now I'm just going to initialize the routing and remote access. All right, so now I'm just going to go back to the server manager here. All right, perfect. And then I'm going to actually head to remote routing and remote access. All right, and let's open this puppy up. Then configure. Next, that's cool. All right, perfect. And VPN or dial up. I think I want to do dial up here. Actually, let me see. This I should be able to check this box. I'm not sure why I can't. Let's see. Yeah, it should allow me to do either or. Huh. All right, so I'm going to actually start over. Let's see, delete. Let's refresh actually. And as we can also want to point out that this red arrow is pointing down. So actually let me that here. There it is. All right, perfect. All right, perfect. We're going to do Ethernet 2. See what else is on here. I actually want to clear this out, but we need to make sure this is highlighted. All right, perfect. And we want a specified range of addresses. And we want new here. And particularly, let's see what we want. We want this, that, 100. We want to go all the way to, wait a minute. There we go. That's not what we want. There we go. 21. That's what we want there. All right, perfect. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yes. All right. Now the primary we want. Yeah, that's good. We want SA. Actually, SA01. Then see. Let me confirm if it's capital. Okay. All right, perfect. All right, so now we can just go ahead and finish. All right, and there should be a message in a moment about the DHCP. Okay. All right, so now the routing remote access is initializing, so it just takes a few seconds, right? And then it should redirect me back to the, yep, redirect. And now I also want to point out that the red arrow is now a green arrow pointing up, so we're good to go there. So I'm going to go back here, then go to the properties, right? And then let's go, where did it go? All right, perfect. So now let's head to the security tab. Get that guy out the way. All right, perfect. Now let's configure this here. We want to edit this. Is that right? Let's see. All issues, that's cool. All right, perfect. No, that's good to go. Where did it, let's see. Yeah, for some reason it's not cooperating. All right, there it is. All right, perfect. Let's configure that. Let's edit, send radius. All right, perfect. Make it okay. Save these changes. All right. All right, perfect. So let's, okay. Why? Okay. All right, perfect. All right, everything looks good to go. Just making sure with everything looking proper. Looking okay. All right, so let's open this up here. Inbound. I need to get to the, let me actually make sure this is in alphabetical order. I'm just locating the routing and remote access. Let's see. Undo this one. No, it's already enabled. Okay. I was just making sure they were enabled. They normally shouldn't be. Huh. They actually should be disabled, but I guess they're already are enabled. This is good. So now I'm going to configure the network policy itself. So let's see. So let me go to the correct server. All right, and let me Okay, perfect. Network policies. All right, new. All right, we want. All right, actually, let me not do that. Guess I can't spell. All right, perfect. And I want remote access server, right? And let's hit add Windows, add groups, right? And we want, let's see, global IT, right? Check names. If I can spell. All right, perfect. Let's make sure everything looks good. All right, it does. Okay, I can actually hit next. Okay, actually we want access is determined. Actually, no, just read it. We're good. Actually, let me go back and read again. Okay, yeah, we're good. All right, perfect. Let's see, next, and we're good here, good there, good there, and we can actually finish. All right, perfect. So now we can see here that in under the network policies, we have a summary of the network policy settings that's displayed, right? So, well, actually, it was on the prior dialog box, but to get my point. So now it displays just the IT network policy now at the top of the list of policies. So I'm actually going to, let's see, take a look around here. Actually, let me go back here. And disable that one as well. All right, perfect. So we're good there. So now we can move on to configuring a VPN server and client. And now I'm just going to configure the VPN ports for dial-in access for VPN users using the NPS window. So, so first we configure the VPN ports, of course. So let me pivot back to the server. Let's see the remote. It should be open. I guess not. Let's see. All right, that's good. All right, let's see which port we need to take a look at it. Okay. Actually, I'll just open up properties so I don't have to go through that. Actually, just configure. All right, perfect. So we need, all right. Let's take a look at these boxes. I don't want that. All right, no, we're good there. But we need to check one more. Okay. Clear this out, and we want. Okay. All right, perfect. So we're good there. All right, so let's see, IPv4. Huh. Let's see. Should be, I thought I was still back on properties, but I guess not. So let's actually take a look at here. Let's see. We want Ethernet 2. So we're good there. Everything else looks pretty good. All right, so let's go into that. All right, so now I'm going to create a VPN client connection. All right, so we connect here to a new server. All right, so some other stuff may pop up, but in the meantime, let me get straight to this here. All right, so for the purposes of this video, just not being too long again, this command is kind of long, so I'm just gonna speed it up here. Perfect, so I've entered in the command. All right, so this command is just creating a VPN connection. So there's no again, another type of command where there's no typical confirmation of connection, right? So now I'm just going to view the details of the VPN connection we've just set up, right? So let's do this here. Okay, there we go. Perfect. All right, so now that we see the details, right? So now I need to disable the setting, similar to what we've done before, right? Disable the setting that uses the default gateway to the remote network setting. So let's see. And we start telling, make sure. Perfect. All right, again, not a successful command, but we didn't receive an error, so that's good. So now I'm just going to show the change to the split tunneling that we've just done. Perfect. See here. Yep, this one says false, and then this one is true. All right, perfect. So now I'm going to test the VPN connection, right? So, all right, let's actually do this here. Change adapter. Then connect. Disconnect, and there should be a pop-up here. And since I'll be testing the network policy that I configured earlier for the NPS, I'm going to sign in as one of the members of the security group called Global IT that I also named. So let's actually place, connect here. So all right, and let's see, Lisa Scott, Michael's. If you know, you know, Michael's long lost sister. At least that's my theory. All right. Let's see. So the connection is going to be attempted, and of course, it indicates the connected status. So that means that Lisa Scott is compliant with the policy that's set in the NPS. That's running in SAO, SAO1 here. All right, so now I'm just going to hit disconnect, and then going to connect again, and I'm going to test the connection again for another user of the global IT group. So let's see, Jan. She didn't treat Michael right at all. All right. Wait. Huh. Okay. Okay. Let's actually try it again. They all have the same password, so I'm not sure. Let's see. There it is. I'm not sure what was going on there. But now we've successfully signed on to the VPN server as Jan. So now we can actually, should I disconnect? Yeah, I'll disconnect it. I don't want to have it open, right? So now we're still in the settings. So I'm actually going to at home here. I'm just going to try to dial in as a user who's not a member of the global IT group. So actually, let me go back here. So let's see. So I'll do it as John Summers. That's pretty much what just happened when I tried it with Jan. You see, with John, I'm not sure what happened with Jan because it should have, as you've seen, it eventually connected, but I was entering the same password. I'm not sure exactly why it didn't connect. So let's see. I'm entering what would be his password, and there it is. So that's fine. Usually, if you don't get a message like this, because typically I'm entering what would be his password, but typically what it would say the connection was prevented because it's because of a policy configured the RAS of the VPN server. So I'm just going to try it one more time. I actually want to see it. Let me slow down. Oh, darn it. Okay. All right, but nonetheless, that's what it's supposed to see. What you're supposed to. Oh, there it is. Or some variation of what I just mentioned. All right, so I'm actually going to close this out and just head to the next task. So now we're going to take a look at the NPS logs actually. So the NPS actually it logs. Uh, they provide information about user authentication requests, right, and access and accept messages, and access reject messages and a counter request, right. So I'm just going to examine the NPS log, and let's see. Let's pivot over here, and let's open up the file explorer. Expand this, and let's take a look at the put this here. Windows system. So let's make sure this is in alphabetical order. Makes everything easier. Let's do this here again. Log files. There we go. Actually, you know what? No, this is fine. This is fine. Let's see, open. Now that I have this open, let's minimize this here. All right, perfect. So let's open up Internet Explorer. I'm going to use a few tools that we have available to us. All right, Windows Server. And we're going to open this up. Save. And we want to, of course, open the folder. We want to extract. Okay, perfect. So right now, what I'm about to do now, before I continue, I'm just installing the NPS log reader. Pretty much what I'm doing. So let's see. I'm actually gonna hit extract. Oh, perfect. There it is. All right, let's run administrator next. Of course, I accept next. Should I change it? It really doesn't matter for this activity at least. All right. That's fine. Quick launch, whatever. This is okay. Install, finish. That was pretty quick. So now I'm just going to read the NPS log using the third-party reader. All right, so it should be actually on the desktop now. Close all of this crap out here. Just open it back up. There we go. All right, perfect. So now the IAS, the log viewer, of course, it detected the newly created file, log file that was out of systems 32. Right, so just gonna hit OK so we can take a look at the contents of it, right? And it shows all of the attempts that we just had when we were trying to connect, right? Remember all of those attempts between Lisa, Jan, and John that we were attempting, right? So it's just a summary, the successful and the failed VPN connections, right, that we attempted. So we can actually view the account names a bit better if I open this up. All right, so we see who tried it, right? Let's actually take a look at, let's see here, actually, look at item details. Pretty much see the station ID, the request, server IP, all of that jazz. Pretty much where did it come from? All right, we see this person attempting to connect. Who are they and where did they come from? And that could lead to, a variation of other things. Hopefully nothing bad, but that could lead to a variation of other things. So we can actually resize the property window too, just to make it, because for someone like me, I know I did a lot of smaller windows, but I like to have my windows nice and big. But normally you're able to resize them, I guess. The lab won't let me do it, but you're normally able to resize your labs. But just going to close that up. I'm just going to take a look at the records tab. So we can see a lot of different things. I'm going to just focus on John since he was the one that failed. So we see item details there. We can see a bit of different information, more extensive information as far as the client vendor, the ports, the frame protocol, things of that nature, right? So I'm actually just going to get out of here now. Then just going to minimize this. So now I'm just going to export the NPS templates, right? So let's see. Let's open this. Yeah, I knew I was going to need that. Let me go back here. Okay. There it is. Perfect. All right, so let's export templates to a file here. Let's see. NPS. And we want to save, right? So now I've successfully completed the task for just implementing the network policy server. So just for a brief recap, what we've done as far as overall, we've installed the network policy server, we configured the VPN server and client, and we also took a look at the NPS logs as well as far as successful and non-successful attempts, right? So next video, we're gonna get into managing certificates, and I'll see you then.